All right, let's set the stage. It's the 1950s. The war is over. The economy is booming. And in the United States, the idea of the American dream is being sold like hotcakes. Picture this. Year one. In your life, it's a picture-perfect snapshot of domestic bliss. At least that's what everyone expects. A spotless home, a hot meal on the table, kids who behave, and yes, you're doing all of this while wearing heels and a pearl necklace. But here's the thing, it's a lie. It's a perfectly packaged lie, sold to women through marketing and media. A false promise that being the perfect housewife will give you the perfect life.
And your life will be perfect.
And the consequences of that lie go far beyond a spotless home. It wasn't just women who suffered under this pressure. Their children and their marriages took a hit too. To understand where we are today, we have to go back, and I mean way back. Before the 1950s, women always worked. They were an integral part of the labor force, but they weren't celebrated or marketed to as such. They worked on farms, in factories, and in small businesses. But, and here's the key difference, they weren't doing it alone. Women had community. They had extended families, neighbors, and a support system that today's modern woman just doesn't. However, post-World War II, something shifted. Soldiers came home, suburban sprawl took off, and suddenly there was this new idea of what a woman's role should be.
You know, they say a woman's place is in the home.
The economy was booming, and companies quickly realized that the way to keep it going was to market products, home appliances, cleaning supplies, beauty products to women, and not just to any women, to the housewife. The message was clear. Success equals a well-run home. You're a good wife, a good mom, if your floors sparkle, if your casseroles are baked to perfection, and you look great while doing it all. But let's pause for a second. This was a carefully constructed narrative.
To be a good wife is to be a completely fulfilled woman.
This wasn't some organic evolution of women's roles. This was a deliberate marketing strategy. And women bought into it. They were told their value was tied to how well they managed their homes. So they did what anyone would do. They tried to live up to it the best they could. But this wasn't a feminine ideal based on real women's lives. This was an image of perfection that companies sold to boost their profits. Want to make your husband happy? Buy this new fridge, and while you're at it, buy this vacuum too. The ads were everywhere. And they weren't just selling gadgets. They were selling a lifestyle where women worked tirelessly, not just for their families, but for an image. The perfect family unit, the ideal housewife. She wasn't just managing a home, she was creating an illusion. Now I know what you're thinking. This was clearly a fantasy. People weren't actually vacuuming while wearing heels and pearl necklaces, right? Well, sadly, millions of women bought into this idea. Behind the glossy campaigns and TV shows like Leave It to Beaver, real women were struggling. Loneliness, isolation, depression, and being cut off from the community they once relied on. These were the hidden costs of trying to live up to an impossible standard. Picture perfect home? The immaculate family life? For many women, it just wasn't their reality. And they were burning out, trying to achieve it. And what about the kids, you ask? Well, when moms were busy trying to live up to this impossible ideal, they had less time for their children. They were told that making everything look perfect was more important than actually being present. The kids lost out too. The truth is, women felt the pressure. Yet, they had to keep up the perfect image for their families and for society. It was a double-edged sword. And as for the husbands, they were fed the same fantasy. They were told to expect a spotless home, dinner on the table, and a wife who greeted them with a smile.
Hi.
But the reality was much different. So things shifted. The 70s and 80s arrived, and suddenly, women aren't just allowed in the workforce. They're marching in. Instead of the perfect housewife, marketers started selling something new. The perfect working mom. It's 2.0 housewifery, but with more chaos and caffeine. Why not have it all? A career, kids, health, and maybe squeeze in some time with your husband. But here's the kicker. They weren't selling freedom or empowerment. Nope. They were selling another exhausting standard. And once again, women were told they could do it all, as long as they bought the right tools to help them juggle everything. The result? You work more so you can spend more, so you can keep up with the illusion that you're somehow balancing everything like a pro. But here's a twist, because every story needs a twist. All this extra work, all these new gadgets, services, and expectations aren't just about helping women. It's about fueling consumerism.
Did you ever hear the expression, keeping up with the Joneses?
Let's be real. 2 incomes means more spending power, which means more opportunities to sell you things you don't really need. I mean, who doesn't want a robot that'll clean your house while you work 60 hours a week? This isn't just pressure, it's a trap. And the only thing we're really balancing here is stress. So now we're caught between 2 extremes. The 1950s housewife, she was drowning in domestic perfectionism. The modern working mom, she's drowning in trying to be perfect everywhere else. Let's take a moment here, because this is where it hits hard. We have to be real. It's not just about the women. It's about the kids too. This endless race to balance it all is starting to feel like a slow motion car crash for the family structure. For stay-at-home moms, the pressure to be perfect is isolating. And when you're isolated, guess who feels it? The kids. Stay-at-home moms used to have communal support, family, neighbors, a tribe. Back in the day, there was a village to help raise children. Now, not so much. Society has shifted, and with less support, these women can feel like they're going it alone. Meanwhile, the working moms, yeah, they're hustling. But when you're constantly toggling between job meetings and grocery runs, something's gotta give. And it's usually time with your family. Kids today are growing up in daycare, spending more time with caregivers than their own parents. And that has consequences. We know that. Studies show that kids need presence. They don't need perfection. They don't care if the house is messy. They care about time. Here's the truth. Marketing created this mess. Whether it's the spotless housewife of the 50s or the multitasking working mom of today, these roles were cooked up in boardrooms, printed on billboards, and sold to women through every screen imaginable. Marketing didn't just reflect society's values, it shaped them. It sold women an impossible standard, an attainable dream, and left them feeling like no matter how much they did, it was never enough.
I can't do this anymore.
It's about selling you perfection that doesn't exist. And guess what? It's never gonna stop. Because as long as there's a product to sell, there's a fantasy to chase. Let's get one thing straight. We don't have to do it all. No one can. Perfect housewife of the 50s? She never existed. The superwoman of today? She's a myth too. These are fantasies created by marketers to sell products, and it's time to stop buying into them, literally and figuratively. Hi guys, thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. It really means a lot, your love, your support. Please drop a comment below, let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I have many more projects coming your way, so stay tuned for that. Please like and subscribe as this will really help my channel grow. I'll see you next time.